Okay, so now we're going to add test items to our math test that we have created. Over on the left-hand side, you do have the opportunity to select the banks. The Certica 12.1 is going to have some technology enhanced questions in it, so that's a good one to go through. And the Certica bank. Those are the recommended banks for us to use. Of course, the subject mathematics, the grade level, that was all selected when I made the test. And then you go in to select the standards. When I select the standards, the standard course of study is going to pop up. I need to add MBT 7. So I'm going to look here at MBT. I'm going to use the arrow. Go in. There's MBT 7. I can use the arrow. For this particular assessment, notice that there is a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. I know that for this cluster, I did not have these two, so I am not going to add the 2 and the 3 because that was not part of it. So I'm going to click on these and you can see that it pops up over here. Again, remember, I'm only going to select one standard at a time. That way I know that I'm getting those questions added equally. And you can see over here to the side, I have 76 for this one and 23 for this one. So I'm going to save and close. Another thing that you can do at this time is there is a filter over here on the left. If I click on the filter, shows me the standards up at the top. I can select the types of questions that I'm looking for, Open response, I definitely don't want to check that one because those have to be manually graded. So I don't want any open response questions. I can also scroll down. You can see that my question language, I can select the question language that I would like. I would like English for this particular one, but there are other things that you can do and apply those filters. When I go to add questions to the test, I can go through here, read the questions. Here's a technology enhanced question that I can select. I'm going to click that one. Got. Okay. So I'm going through and selecting the questions that I would like to add to my test. Then I go over, click add to test. This will then show me how many questions I have for each. So for example, I now have an OA2, an MBT7, an F1, an F1. So I can see how many questions I have. So I did not add any questions that were the 7-2, so the MBT7 with the 2. So I'm going to go back to add those. So to go back and add a standard, so I could go here to add an item. You're going to go from the item bank. What that's going to do is it's going to take me back to the previous window that I had. I'm actually going to go over here because I know that I need some questions from this standard. So I'm going to click this one off, and that way it changes my filter. So I can then go through and look at the questions and decide which one I would like to add to my test of these questions. And again, I'm going to add to the test. Now I know that I have another standard that I need to select. I'm going to get rid of this standard so that it takes those choices so that I'm only doing one at a time. I do need to do OA2 for this test as well. So I'm going to go in, click, find OA2. There it is. going to select both of those. I've got 41 questions, and I go through the process again of selecting the questions that I would like for my test. And then I'm going to add it to my test. I keep following this process to make sure that I have all of the things that I would like added to my test before I finalize. Finalizing the test comes at a different time, so we have just learned how to add things to your test.